initial little impression here. It's actually pretty fun to ride. Kind of interesting to ride. I really haven't ridden one yet, so we'll see how this one goes. We're going to get it on the freeway and see how smooth it is and all that. So this Bombardier trike Spyder thingy I was referring to earlier is actually a Can Am Spyder RT Limited, and it's a pretty neat machine. Let's talk about some basic specs first. It's a Rotax 1330 Ace inline 3-cylinder engine. Transmission is semi-automatic. It comes in a couple of colors and trims, but for the purpose of this test, I don't really think that that's that important. So we'll move on to the actual specs. As I said, the engine is a Rotax 1330 Ace. That's an inline 3-cylinder, liquid-cooled, electronic fuel injection, and electric throttle control, which means throttle by wire, which is nice and smooth, works great. Claimed engine power is 115 horsepower with 96 foot-pounds of torque, which is plenty of power. You do have to remember, though, this is a 1,000-pound machine dry, so it does take quite a bit of power to move that much weight around. The transmission, as I said earlier, is a semi-automatic, which means if you look down there at my left hand, there's a up and down trigger that you work with your thumb and forefinger that does the shifting on the machine. The front suspension is a double A-arms with anti-roll bar. The suspension is shocks, both front and rear shocks. Electronic brake distribution system is just a foot actuated, so when you push down on the right foot pedal there, or right brake pedal, as it were, it brakes all three corners and seems to work good. The front brakes are Brembos. Like I said, plenty of power on those brakes. You have a fairly heavy vehicle, but lots of tire on the ground. Excellent in the conditions that I tested it anyways. The parking brake is electrically actuated. This particular model also has the hill assist, which holds the machine in place whether you're on an uphill or downhill when you've stopped, which is a pretty nice feature. Claimed vehicle load is 500 pounds per passenger and rider. It does have also a 400-pound towing capacity. Fuel capacity is about 7 gallons. Of course, it's recommended premium unleaded fuel, as you'd see in any other motorcycle. The instrumentation, if you take a look at the dash there, it's an 8-inch wide LCD color display with BRP Connect. This machine does not come with navigation, nor is it available directly out of the machine. So you are able to Bluetooth a phone through the BRP Connect. So as long as you can Bluetooth a phone, you do have some navigation, media, apps, and music, and the like. It does also have a 6-speaker sound system. Sounds good. I'm not a big supporter of blasting your radio while you're rolling down the road, but some people enjoy that, and the feature is there if you're interested. This bike is equipped with what's called a stability control system, and you probably saw it there earlier as I rounded that corner, but if you go into a turn a little bit too fast, which would start the chassis roll process going, the bike actually will retard the power to slow it down until that roll gets arrested. So it's actually a really nice safety feature, and I think that's fairly new on these bikes, although especially with the Spyder, this was my first ride on a Spyder, so I'm not as familiar as some might be with the model. It does have anti-lock braking system and traction control as well. It has a dynamic power steering, which if you notice there on the freeway, you feel and see a little bit of handlebar movement. Now, it's not an unnerving amount. It's not even an amount I actually thought about while I was riding, but as you watch the video, there's definitely a little bit of movement, and I may even attribute that to the bike trying to run in the grooves of the road. So it's actually pretty smooth on the road, on the freeway anyways. I can sum up my first impression of the Can Am Spyder RT Limited with a question, and that is, what's not to like? The Spyder has every single creature comfort you'd expect from a top-end, long-range, 2-up machine, and more. And if I were in the market today, this is the machine I'd buy. Well, that's all for today. Take care, ride safe, and we'll see you out there.